Je bois sans dire à tout.
What up, jerk faces? This is your boy Andy with the homie Robert, and you are watching the Nocturnal Transmissions. How's it going, Rob?
It's going pretty good.
Yeah, how's your weekend?
Hot. Weekend was pretty good. I helped out the family at a car show that they were working at. It's help raise money for a place called the Rancho San Antonio Boys Home, and it's a church-run place for at-risk youth, or help either kids that were in gangs or about to be in gangs, got caught up in drugs or whatever. It's a place for them to help get their life back on track, get some discipline, get some God, and it really does a good number of the kids that really change their lives around, and it's a really great cause. Like 90% of the proceeds go to that place. The rest is just kind of pay off vendors for their work and stuff. But every year it's always awesome. You can see a lot of great classic cars. My parents sell car care products while they're out there. You got a bake auction. You got all sorts of cool stuff that goes on down there. Good food, good times.
Any food trucks?
It was a long, hot day that day, that's for sure.
Any food trucks?
Not food trucks, but they do have the boys' home actually puts on they do a lot of the food cooking and all that stuff, and they sell food for the home as well. They really good barbecue. They do tacos, hot dogs, and it's all really good. So.
Okay.
Yeah, they do a really good job down there with food.
What was the boys' home name again? It was called.
It's the Rancho San Antonio Boys Home, and that's up near, I think it's Chatsworth. The area.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Plummer and
DeSoto.
DeSoto.
Yeah.
Right, if you can see the California car cover, you just keep going down that road a little ways.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm not very familiar with, but I am familiar with it. I mean, growing up in Chatsworth, I've happened to drive through there a few times, and I didn't know that it was specifically like a boys' home or shelter. So
yeah, they've been doing that for years now, and man, like I said, they do a lot of and a lot of the kids that kind of help you get recovered, they come back and they serve and help out the next generation of kids that are there. So it's a really great turnaround, kids really getting the help that they need, and then paying them back, which is really cool.
Okay. Yeah. Well. After this stream, I'll definitely put it in the description. They have a website, right?
I think they do. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I'd have to look. I'll look that up after we're done here, and I'll send that. I'll shoot that over to you.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we'll put that in. What was your weekend like?
My weekend, I spent it actually with my family, immediate and extended. My family has kind of a tradition of going camping during the summer, and it's usually big family thing, like immediate family, extended family. And we go have like these huge. It's almost like a family reunion, but I mean we all live within at least a 10-mile radius of each other, and so it's not really it's not so much a reunion as it is like kind of like a regular family gathering.
Yeah.
But Yes, one year we went, we go to Yosemite, another year, to Zion. But of course, I would never go to Zion in the summer because I don't do deserts in the summer.
Yeah, not fun.
But this time wasn't so bad. We stayed pretty local. Um, we went to El Capitan, just north of Santa Barbara here, and the weather was pretty nice. Although towards the last day, apparently there was some sort of wildfire, and I wouldn't I wouldn't say that it was close. What was that?
I heard that there was like some smoke fire up near like that area.
Yeah, and I wouldn't. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily super close to our campsite, but you could definitely see the clouds of smoke, and then I guess after it got a little bit more contained, that's when like the ash started falling down, and when we woke up, there's a thin layer of ash over everything, and so, but luckily that was the last day, and we were heading home after that. Yeah. Also, I got a bit of a. I also ended up getting a bit of a frog in my throat. I don't know if you can tell from my voice, but it happens.
Just gonna bring it up.
Yeah, although it was pretty sweet because I kind of felt it early on. As I was sleeping, I woke in, and I kind of felt it in my throat. I was like, oh crap, and that's usually how. Or at least for me, that's usually the first warning sign that I'm starting to get sick. And I was like, oh crap! So I bundled myself even more so I could, maybe prevent it. But probably at the point where you're feeling it, it's probably too late. And I did wake up sounding like Barry White, so that was pretty fun.
And there was no one there to be impressed by it.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of wasted, I was like, it was still fun, but too bad, there weren't some, ladies there. I could impress them, like, hey, sex, done my best, try to do my best Barry White impression. So.
You were talking. There was some topics that you had in mind that you wanted to bring out that I was quite interested in hearing. One that I had no idea until you talked to me about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes. Yes. Oh, there was recently. I mean, I think it's like 2 weeks old, and not too many people are talking about it anymore. But I just kind of had to talk about this because one, it was really freaking stupid, and two, it was just so damn disrespectful that I kind of had to vent and also get your take on it too. So I guess So let me just lay it out for you. So the Jenner sisters, the two youngest of the Kardashian clan, came out with a T-shirt line with famous musical groups or musicians, either a picture of them, or famous album art, or their logo. Like I think the most famous was Pink Floyd. The prism, and the light and all that stuff. And anyways, so they come out with this line of t-shirts with the famous musicians or musical groups, and what they do is they superimpose their faces and or logo over it, and they try to sell them. They try to sell these shirts, and it's like, are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me about this stuff? Because I mean, they're trying to say one of two things. Or yeah, let's just keep it simple and say two things. One, they think that they are on par with some of these iconic musicians and performers, or two, they think that or two, that their egos are so inflated that they think that they have surpassed these musicians and people who have actually contributed to culture, to society in general. And I'm just like, I know they're women, I know they're young girls, but the balls on these two to do such a thing is just, I just can't even.
You showed me the picture of like them, their like logo and their pictures over like the Tupac shirts.
Yeah. Oh my God, that enraged me the most. That enraged me because I grew up with Tupac.
That was pretty damn ballsy for one.
Right.
If Tupac was still alive, I'm pretty sure he'd be fucking pissed. For one. But the fact that like you're saying, how is it that you think that you're barely a D-list celebrity for one, and you think that not only are you more important, that your brand has surpassed and become more important than great artists.
Right.
So
Yeah.
All about like Tupac or Pink Floyd or whoever. These people have done. Say what you will about their music, they've done so much more than these gender kids will ever do, or have ever done. And that's just like, I mean, it's not like Randy Newman or some other like just kind of like
Well, I mean, with Randy Newman, he could at least play the piano.
That's true. I don't know if the genders can do that.
Right, exactly. And then it actually brings up a very good question. Why are you famous? What have you done? What have you contributed to our culture? What have you contributed to society in general or at large?
Now, and a few things. What's crazy is that you have their fame comes from Kim Kardashian, who really has any reason to be famous,
right?
But has become famous, and they're like the leeches that leech off the leech.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I mean, you argue, and I don't even know what the PC term to call it now, but their dad, when he was Bruce Jenner, was an Olympic gold medalist.
Right.
And
he was accomplished. He actually did something that was amazing or extraordinary or unique to warrant his celebrity, his fame.
Yeah, whether Bruce or Caitlyn, he or she has some credibility and is famous.
Mm-hmm.
And they have nothing, and it's like the fact that they're claiming that they're bigger and better than these great musical artists is just it's face palming.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, I think they got a pretty. I mean, okay. Firstly, who on their team, or who amongst their handlers, thought that this was going to be a good idea?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, no one stopped and said, like, I think this is pretty stupid. And but no, it's like, I mean, either they have like really stupid surrounding them, or they have a bunch of yes men, or they're they as in the Jenner sisters and their handlers are so out of touch that they didn't even think that this was a bad idea.
Honestly, I think this is worse than the whole Pepsi commercial fiasco.
Oh yeah, I mean, because that you can't really blame on the girl, because it was Pepsi, it was the company that hired I mean, I don't know if they did it in-house or if they probably contracted out to some ad agency. So it was really the ad agency's fault for coming up with that tone deaf ad campaign, but then it was also Pepsi's fault for greenlighting it, saying yeah this is great, go on ahead, and then it just kind of showed how tone deaf or how out of touch these people are.
Right. Yeah, but they were the ones that got the backlash for it. I was like, I didn't really see like it was not a good commercial, but I wasn't as up in arms as everyone else was. This is worse. This is way worse.
Mm-hmm.
This is just sheer like egomania, like they think that they're better than these artists.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't see. And I wonder if they had any sales at all, or they just have this like warehouse full of like boxes of these like unwearable T-shirts that they're gonna sell.
Yeah,
like,
that's
some third world country.
Yeah, that's what I wonder, because
like all the Super Bowl loser T-shirts that they make.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, I have some experience because designing some shirts. I designed some shirts with my own designs on them, and I went through a site that allows you to take your design and superimpose it on just like a stock image of a shirt.
Right.
And then you could use that for to advertise it, and then so you didn't actually create anything, but the company that I went through, once they got the order, or once they got a sufficient amount of orders, then they would go ahead and make the T-shirts. But yeah, I can't. I mean, just looking at the pictures and like the pictures that I sent you, I can't even tell if it's just facsimile or if it's an actual product. And if it's an actual product, it's like, oh my god, you just wasted all that money to create stuff that you can't even sell.
Yeah, and it's like I also love how like some of like the artists, like their whole like it was album cover design or like
Mm-hmm.
picture of the artist. It's like all kind of like it's a grayed out. Like theirs are like this like gold, like yellow or pink.
Right.
Over it. It's
exactly.
Like graffiti on the wall.
Exactly. It's like whether they were saying that they are on par with these influential and iconic musical groups or artists, or if they're saying that, oh, we're the new, so get out the way. Either way, it's just like, who the hell do you think you are? And I'm not just saying that rhetorically. I'm genuinely asking, who the hell do these girls think they are?
Maybe they got inspired by the song "Move Bitch, Get Out the Way" while they were like making these T-shirts.
Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, it also the reason why this bothered me so much is because as an artist, there are times where I too got kind of the shaft, and I wasn't recognized, or someone used my work without my permission, or here's a real life example. A few years back, I did a shoot with with someone I knew, and it wasn't for anything big. It was mostly for me, to update my portfolio or whatever. And after the shoot, I created some contact sheets, and those are just basically sheets of paper. Well, I mean, back in the day, a film, you take the film and the strips, and you placed it on the 8x10 paper, and then you exposed it, and then you're able to have like these little mini previews, little thumbnails from the roll of film that you shot, and you kind of get an idea like what pictures you have, and then we called those contact sheets. So I made a digital form of that, since I shoot digital, And I sent it to this person. And I said, hey, you know, here are all the shots from our shoot. You know, if there are any specific ones that you really like, you know, let me know, and I'll edit them and I'll get them to you as soon as possible. And
Right.
and so fast forward like a few weeks later, you know, some stupid stuff went down, and you know, this person ended up being mad at me for something really trivial, and anyways, so another like week or two goes by, and you know, I see on one of their social media pages one of my photos. Okay, and you know, and it's clear that they got it from the contact sheets that I sent. But what they did was, you know, and one of the issues that this person had was that because I had taken one of the photos that I edited and I put it up on my social media, and they wanted their face covered, and so this person takes one of the photos from the contact sheet that I sent and then puts it up on their social media, but they put some sort of, I don't know, something over their face, you know, to cover it, like a sticker or something like that, and they don't give me any of the credit, and they actually, well, okay, it was Instagram, and so they hashtag another well-known artist. You know, they basically hashtag him on that work. So like whenever you look up that specific hashtag that has his, you know, it's his name, you know, it's like that image will appear under him, which, you know, which will make some people take it to will make people understand that, oh, this is this artist's work and not mine.
Right.
And so.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have a particular grievance, you know, I am, you know.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too, because like those, you know, especially like even those, you know, the Tupac images that they were like covering over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those are all like, you know, pretty famous, like you know, either the album covers or like just
right, yeah, or like there was like
like
that one with like him and Biggie, you know, before their beef.
I don't know like what his, I don't know if he still has like a state to his name or whatever that it collects royalties or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, you know, if it's like mom or whatever,
mm-hmm.
you know, is collecting his royalties.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at like something like you were saying, like Pink Floyd or whatever artist is still alive, and it's like, wait a second, that's my like album cover, that's like my face. Why, you know, and they're not getting, I have a feeling they're not actually getting like any, you know, sort of royalties towards those shirts. Like, I mean, they would get zero anyways, because like nobody's gonna buy them. But if for whatever crazy reason they became like really, you know, they started selling a lot, there'd be a huge lawsuit out of it.
Yeah. No, right. That's the other part of the story is, you know, because, you know, they were using that stuff without permission, and so, you know, all of the respective estates or you know, copyright holders or whatever to the images or the logos or just like, you know, the visual representation of that specific artist, like everyone, you know, who basically had rights to it, you know, sent, you know, like I think the most famous one was the estate holder for Jim Morrison of the Doors. So I do think they did. Yeah, they just, you know, they were, you know, they got off pretty easy. You know, it's like, and they were sent a cease and desist letter, you know, which basically means, cut that out, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, because if it was anybody else, if it was like an average Joe type of person who tried to do something like this, they would have come at them, both barrels.
Yeah, it was one of those like dad yelling from the other room was like, hey, don't do that.
Exactly.
It's one and it would be. I mean, not that they probably wouldn't sell anyways, but like if they just had like their own brand logo, like pictures of like themselves or whatever, like they're selling their shirts. So be it, go. That's fine. Like that. I wouldn't buy one myself, but I'm pretty sure it'd be like less like egregious than this. This is. I'm still like I am shocked at like the balls that those kids have.
Mhm. Oh yeah. I mean, jeez. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's
maybe they felt like they weren't they haven't been in the news for a while, so it's like, hey, you know what? Let's come up with this crappy idea. See what happens.
I know, cause like there was a point where I was thinking maybe this is a 4D. Is it 4D or 3D chess? Is it 4D or 3D chess?
3D chess.
3D chess? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe this is like a 3D chess move, and they're like, okay, let's start up like this. We don't want anything as crazy as some sort of like crazy lawsuit. But let's kick up a little dust. Let's kick up a little dust. Keep our names out there. Keep us relevant. I mean, because there's like that whole thing about how the thing with Kim in Paris and like the robbery was faked or something like that.
Wasn't it?
Huh?
Well, it wasn't like supposedly all like bullshit. Like it was all fake.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the theories floating around. It's like, nothing, there wasn't any robbery. It was just a way to, keep her relevant, keep her name out there and things like that. And I mean, if it turns out that, what these two little girls did was just that, just the 3D chess move, just like, hey, let's kick up a little dust. Let's not kick up a tornado, but just a little dust. Keep our names out there. Keep us, slightly relevant. I guess I wouldn't be that surprised.
I mean, no one's really keeping up with the Kardashians anymore, so you gotta.
Yeah, I mean.
Maybe they do something like crazy enough to get their own show again, or something.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know how they're even doing in the ratings. I just know that. I mean, admittedly, I did watch like maybe like the first like 2 or 3 seasons of the show, but.
Watch seasons? I watched a couple of episodes. I didn't watch the whole season.
Well, it was back when I was, really stupid. But
I was young and dumb, Robert.
Yeah, I was just really dumb back then. I'm sorry. But well, also because I was living with my sister at the time, and that that's pretty much all she watched. And so, there was only one TV back, at the time, and so.
I guess I can't fault you too much on that one. I mean, I remember as a kid, like during the summers, it was the same thing. We only had like one TV, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
And so she's like, well, if you want to watch TV, you can watch what I'm watching, which was soap operas.
Oh yeah, right.
So I watched soap operas.
Yeah, that's Hannah. I think. Yeah, my sister, growing up, I think during summer vacation. Yeah, that's all my sister would watch. It's just soap operas. And I'm trying to watch cartoons, but she's watching soap operas. I'm just like, why?
Now, did your sister watch like the American ones, or was it like Korean?
Yeah, I mean, oh right. In the daytime, it was Americans. It was like General Hospital, All My Children, Days of Our Lives. Huh?
She was an ABC soap fan.
Apparently so, yeah. Another World.
Yeah, my mom was a big CBS soap opera person. you watch like
Young and the Restless.
Yeah, Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, As the World Turns,
Right.
Light, although those last two are gone now.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, I guess like those ones, I don't know about like General Hospital and all that stuff. Like the ones that are on CBS, apparently those are all like old radio programs.
Yeah.
Like As the World's like old radio programs,
Mm-hmm.
CBS radio programs.
Yeah, and out of New York. Out of New York, and like that's why, a lot of the soap operas. That's the reason why their sets looked weird is because back in the day it was radio, and you don't need that much space to do radio. But once TV started to become a thing, they actually just converted the old radio studios into television studios, and even though they were still like really small because again you don't need that much space when you do radio. But that's why, like, back in the day, if you find like old clips from those soap operas, and the sets look really tiny, it's because they're shooting them inside converted radio studios.
Yeah. Did you ever watch kind of a soap opera called Dark Shadows?
No, but that's that I guess show that Johnny Depp trying to make into that movie, or he did make it into a movie, and it did horribly.
It was like kind of like a remake or a reboot.
Yeah, but it was kind of like the precursor to like the Munsters or the Addams Family, right?
It wasn't quite like that. Like essentially like the story, and to be honest, I really do like this. It has a little bit of everything. If you like horror, it's got like monsters, vampires, and it's also if you like soap operas, it's kind of that drama, kind of the over the top drama. And so essentially like in the past, Barnabas Collins, who was like kind of the master of the house, he gets put under some sort of like curse, and he actually becomes a vampire. But he's essentially like entombed, and several hundred years later, he awakens, and the Collins family has continued on, and they occupy the lands of the Collins estate. But the house the initial house that Barnabas lived in is no longer used. It's pretty much a dump. And it starts off with Barnabas comes back, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm like this long lost distant cousin. It's like, oh, you really look like our old ancestor Barnabas Collins. Like, yeah, that's where I'm descended from. So it's this whole ruse to try to restore himself and build Collins estate, and yet at the same time he has this vampire curse that he has to feed on people, and it's kind of like the Renfield in Dracula from the old Dracula films. It's kind of like that. That's kind of what he creates, a bunch of these kind of Renfield victims and stuff. It's crazy. So it's dumb. It's over the top, but it's soap operas. That's probably one of the few that I really like. They used to show that on Sci-Fi Channel, during the days, during summers. So I ended up watching that.
Oh man, I love Sci-Fi Channel back in the day. Stargate SG-1, Battlestar Galactica. Man,
Science Theater 3000 was on there.
Yeah, I still have the complete DVD set of Battlestar Galactica. I think I'm gonna break that out and give that a watch.
That's one of the few times where when they remade the series, they did a fantastic job. I loved it.
Oh yeah, no, they did.
I think I liked it more than the original.
Yeah, it was funny too because I remember I would tell people about it. I was like, hey, you gotta watch Battlestar Galactica. It's great. And for a lot of people, they still had visions of chrome-plated, chrome-plated Cylons and the robot in the stupid robot dog.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no. You have to watch the new one, the new reimagined one. It is fantastic. It is. I mean, it's great storytelling. It's not just science fiction. It's really good storytelling.
Yeah, the twists in that were just. I was like, holy crap! You didn't know who was who, like who was Thailand.
Especially in the beginning of the season 1. It's just like, especially spoiler alerts when it's revealed that that the Cylons, the robots, were capable of taking human form. It's like it was like that crazy paranoid feeling. I was like, oh, are you a Cylon? Are you a Cylon? You get that paranoid like witch hunt kind of feel in your brain.
When that got first revealed, I jumped out of my seat literally. Like, what?
Right? Yeah. But no, yeah.
You keep waiting for these like the Cylons to appear and it's like, when are they gonna come?
Mm-hmm.
And they're constantly like running away from them. It's like occasionally they're gonna have to like encounter them in battle and somewhere, and then it comes out like they've already infiltrated the human spacecraft.
Right. Yeah. I think my favorite, well, in the pilot, which was essentially, I think like the 2 or 3 episode miniseries. It was like kind of they first initially did this as a miniseries, like maybe like a but they used it as like a backdoor pilot, for the series. But I think my favorite scene was when Edward James Olmos's character, William Adama, is cut off from his crew and he's trapped with, what turns out to be a Cylon, and they have like this great dialogue, about, this philosophical discussion about, about humanity and whether, why humanity was chosen, to have a soul, and like, what if God decided that someone else, some other creation deserved his soul, and maybe God decided that humanity was no longer worth his time, and I thought that was such a great that's so well written.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love the remake of the series. That was one of the few times where it was just brilliantly done. And like I think they had like a sit down with like the cast and crew of that show again, and kind of talked a lot about like their process and like making Starbuck a woman and why they chose to do that. And like some of the directions that they went with the show, and it was just like, man, they took a lot of risks.
Yeah.
They could have easily alienated and pissed off a lot of the original fan base.
Right.
But honestly, I think they did better than the original. That's how crazy that is. That's never done.
Right. I mean, that show got a Peabody Award for storytelling. A Peabody Award. That is reserved for like literature.
Yeah.
The best of the best literature. But a freaking sci-fi TV show got the award for best storytelling, and it totally deserves it.
Yeah, I would encourage anyone that's listening or will listen that despite the spoilers that we've given in this, go out and watch that show. It's definitely worth a watch. For anyone who has slight interest in science fiction, go watch the new Battlestar Galactica. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember there was this. You've heard of that show Portlandia, right?
I have. I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It's pretty funny. I must say. But there is this one episode where they actually talk about like how engrossing and addictive Battlestar Galactica can become, because like like Fred Armisen, and I forget who the female actress is, the co-star is, but they were supposed to go out, they had plans or whatever to go to. It's like, oh, you have the first season of Battlestar, or you have the first like 3 seasons. Like, oh yeah, it was a gift. Blah blah blah. It's like, oh, why don't we watch one episode? And then after like one episode, like, oh my god, it's so good. It's so right. It's so good. Oh my god, like, we have to watch another one. Okay, and then it's like, a few hours more. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. It's like, I know, right? And then they go like this whole thing where it like continues like jump in time, and it's like, a week later, and then it's like, I was like, oh my god, look at all these messages I got. And it's like, I guess I'm fired from my job. It's like, me too. It's like, oh, should we watch more? It's like, yeah. And it's like,
yeah. But yeah, the story writing was great. I love I'm not gonna say what the ending was, but I love the ending. I thought that was just like the way that they wrapped it up was just wow. There's very few times where like a show ends perfectly.
I don't know, that thing with Starbuck though, it still kind of confuses me, and I don't 100% understand.
Yeah, I will admit that was a little confusing, but overall, pretty damn awesome.
But overall, I think, yeah, especially like, because they kept that one consistent through line with that prophecy, or like that vision that the president has, and to have it pay off like that at the end, I was like, wow, that's pretty damn amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thoroughly impressed with that payoff. I was like, because I was like thinking throughout, like, when the series was on TV, and I knew back in the day when you actually had to wait for each weekly installment, I was like, I wonder if this vision thing is actually gonna pay off, or is it just gonna be or is it just gonna be end up being some sort of like throwaway thing?
Like
but
lost, like the lost throwaway questions. It's like
yeah, right. Like, what's the deal with the polar bear, or or what? How does that wheel thing work?
Right, exactly.
Or what? Yeah, or what was the Dharma Initiative?
They say also they stayed pretty true to that prophecy, and like it kind of it didn't like. And I think there was a lot, it's and like most of the time it was like prophecy. It's not exactly what you expect.
Right.
They're thinking one thing, and as the audience we're thinking the same thing, and then it's like it's delivered in another way. It's like crap.
Yeah, because I think, because we all think of, because the vision was presented to us, visually and literally, so we think it's going to be exactly how it's depicted or shown to us. But I love the the twist and the subversion of expectations to have it pay off in the way that it did. I was fully satisfied.
It's definitely a show I might like watch again, especially if like somebody that is watching it with me who hasn't watched it.
Oh yes, man. I keep trying to get people to like watch Battlestar. And then I try to not make it sound as sci-fi as possible. But I can't, because like I have to explain to them about the robots, and it's like, oh, robots, and then they immediately give me the eye roll.
It's one of those shows. It's a sci-fi show, yes. It has sci-fi elements, but at the same time, even if you're not a sci-fi person, you just like good story.
Mm-hmm.
That's the show.
Right. Yeah. And I mean that's also one of the things that I try and really sell people on. I was like, hey, this show got a Peabody Award for storytelling. And I explained to people that the Peabody Award is given out for literature, for like books. But, they gave this award that's usually reserved for books to a TV show.
A script. Yeah. Pretty amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a few shows that I like when a show ends in a good way, because there's a lot of times where there's sometimes the ending is not satisfying.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one ended perfectly. A show like Field with Michael Chiklis, that ended perfectly. Pretty how not necessarily how you expect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just more that's where it should end up. Like it felt right, and The Wire was another show that I felt like ended just perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched that, The Wire, by the way?
I haven't, which is really weird.
That is and that's one of those shows that everyone talks about. It's like, man, this show is awesome.
Right? Yeah. No.
So I got into it after the series was over. I was 6-7 years ago, and man, that show is still I was blown away. I kind of want to watch it again.
Yeah. Well, I know other TV shows. Other TV shows make reference to it, and so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's somewhat biographical, especially of the city of Baltimore, and how each of the characters are pretty much based off of actual people, either the mayor or city council or the police chief, and they're actually based on the people, the mayor of Baltimore, or city councilman of Baltimore, the police chief of Baltimore. And so I think I definitely have to put that in my watch list.
Yeah, that's the one I gotta put up with one rabbit trail that they never quite finished. The one that it doesn't affect story.
Oh, Robert, you can't. Your feed was kind of glitching, and then it froze on the most. It froze on your face on the most unfortunate face ever, and then I hope if you decide to watch this episode, just after it's been uploaded. Oh my god. It's pretty damn unfortunate.
That's gonna be a running gag on our for there's any artwork done for our channel. It's gonna be me
yeah, that's gonna be the face. That's gonna be the face. Oh man, it's so good.
Good times, Andy. I love our Tuesday live stream. I look forward to it every week.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, and it's an hour past. I didn't even it went by so fast. We could easily talk another couple hours. I could talk more about Battlestar Galactica. That's it.
I know, right? Oh my god, it's so good. Why don't you believe me?
My tummy is rumbling, and I need to make dinner. So I think this is a good time for us to say see you later to the live stream.
Yeah, I mean, we did an hour. That's how long we said we're gonna do it. So, yes. So, thank you for tuning in, even though no one really did. But I hope you enjoy this live stream, and maybe watching this later after it's been archived. You'll maybe make an effort to come join us every Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. Right here on Circle of Jerks podcast. presents Nocturnal Transmissions. Come join us for all the live fun, and if you want, you could, shoot us a comment. If you want us to discuss something, or you want to make a point, or if you want to say how Battlestar Galactica is stupid, and we'll totally debate you on that. And we will win. We will win.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you again. Please don't forget to join us every Tuesday, and don't forget to check for the regular podcast. I know we're kind of behind. We're setting up something. We're going to set up another podcast, a regular Circle of Jerks podcast soon. So watch out for that. Follow us on, right now Instagram is still kind of up in the air. They keep dicking me around. But if you want, you can follow us on Twitter at podcastcoj. And if there's any, Robert, do you have anything else to add?
No, that's when you like and subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
We look forward to some more stuff for you. We got some good stuff planned.
Absolutely. So, good night, jerk faces. See you next week.